Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we're doing the crossword for Sunday, July 28th, 2024. So, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And did it exercise those little gray cells?
It certainly did.
Mm-hmm.
It did. It was a challenge.
I found it difficult for logistical reasons.
Yes, me too. Me too. And it took me about a half hour longer than it usually takes me.
Right.
Because of those logistics.
Yes.
So.
And the logistics dovetail nicely with the theme.
Definitely.
And there was a theme.
It was an interesting theme for sure. The name of the puzzle was the Big 5-0. And so that could be a lot of different things. But the puzzle, first of all, it was oblong. It wasn't square. It was longer across than it was up and down.
I actually counted 23 squares across, 19 squares high.
Wow.
And it's normally 25 by 25.
Right. So anyway, there was that. And then in the middle of the puzzle were 5 rings, and they were actually colored. 1 blue, 1 yellow, 1 black, 1 green, and 1 red. And they look suspiciously like the Olympic flag.
Mm-hmm.
And since this is the beginning week of the Olympics, it seemed quite apropos.
Right.
So, exactly 114 across, this puzzle subject was, the answer was the Olympic flag, or Olympic flag.
Yes.
I put the Olympics first.
Oh, nice.
And it fit.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't get those downs to work.
No.
So anyway, it was the Olympic flag. And there were 2 related clues to 114 across. The first one was 17 across, which was wedding roll, or a description of 114 across. And that was ring bearer.
Right.
And then the other one was 20 across. Artist diagram, or 1 of 5 for 114 across, and that was color wheel.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the Olympic flag has the 5 colored rings, each a different color representing all the colors of the flags of the world.
Yes.
Right?
Is that what they represent?
Or the countries that participate in the Olympics, I guess. Yeah. That's what I had heard.
Oh, I just figured they liked the colors.
No. I think it has something to do with the colors that are on the flags of the world. So anyway, the rings, of course, were not really rings. They were squares with the corners blacked out with black squares, so they kind of looked like circles, but they were actually 4-sided figures, and they each of the sides was 5 squares long, and they had words in them that related to the color of the ring they were in. Now, this took me a little while to figure this out, but for example, the first ring is blue, and the first clue at the top of the ring was 36 across, detailed plan of action. Well, the answer to that turned out to be print. But if you add the color, it's blueprint. And so and of course that answers the clue, detailed plan of action. So all of the colored rings, I put that in quotes because they were really kind of squares. Mm-hmm. If it was in the blue ring, you had to start the answer with blue in your head and then figure out what you would put afterwards. The side of the blue ring was 43 down, and that was, they fly somewhere over the rainbow. And the answer to that was birds. But if you know the song, it's bluebirds, where bluebirds fly over the rainbow. And then... and
of course the squares were blue, that's the point.
And the squares were blue, yes. If you went over to like the red ring, the top of the red ring was 40 across, and that was a restaurant chain with an avian mascot. And the answer in that was Robin.
Right.
But of course, the restaurant is Red Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Or the black square. If you look at 47 down, that was one side of the black. I call them squares or rings, But anyway, 47 down extorts from in a way. And the answer to that was males, M-A-I-L-S. But of course, the real answer is black males. So that was the theme, and I'm not going to go through every color.
Because there are a lot of themed answers.
Well, there were 4 for each color, and there were 5 colored rings. So, 20 answers.
Plus Olympic flag.
Plus the Olympic flag, plus the ring bearer and color wheel. So, lots of themed clues today.
Of course, it was a Sunday, so they had room, although less room than the usual Sunday. I wonder if they paid the constructor less because they had to fill in fewer squares. It's like, hey, we pay for a 25 by 25. This is only 23 by 19. So,
but all of those themed, it would have taken a lot to come up with, 4 blue answers, 4 black answers, 4 red answers, 4 green answers, and 4 yellow answers,
and make them fit.
Yep. And all of the extensions to those colors had to be 5 squares long. So like yellow had yellow pages, yellow belly, yellow stone, yellow cards. And so that, to me, I think would have been extremely hard. So.
Well, this was by Paolo Pasco, who I think of making some really hard crosswords.
Yes.
And this is his 26th. He knew the Olympics was coming. Technically, he had approximately 4 years to get ready for this.
Right.
I doubt he needed it, but it still was an awesome bit of crosswordy.
Pretty impressive, really. When you think about it, it was pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. The only problem that I had was when the across answers. For some of the colors, you couldn't tell if you had highlighted them or not. You had to go look at the actual list of answers. And I'm like, why can't I? It's like, I don't know where this clue is. And if you moved off of it, you discovered that it changed just slightly.
Right.
But not enough to really make it stand out. But, that's the cost you pay when you make such a cool crossword.
Right. Well, and the rings, of course, are intersecting on the flag. So you would have like a yellow across clue that intersected with a blue down clue and a black down clue.
Right.
So you had all of these colors, and it almost really got hard to see where the clue you were trying to answer, where the answer was, but because of all the different colors. But that did make it a challenge, but well worth the effort.
Yes,
it's just such an amazing.
It was magnificent. I wish actually. So you talked about the black ring. It's actually gray because, of course, they couldn't put black letters on a black square.
Right. Yeah.
It would have been cool if they had some way of, I don't know, putting a border around some of these things. Maybe putting a border around pure black squares, but. They did the best they could, and it was a great crossword.
Yep.
I had difficulties with it. I had difficulty with the themed answers and elsewhere. 6 down sloping surfaces. It was 5 letters, and I thought, it's got to be ramps. Has to be ramps. Until it wasn't, because the answer was cants. C-A-N-T-S.
Yes.
Much rarer.
I don't even know what a cant is.
I think it's something that sloped. Clearly.
Apparently, yes.
I was thinking of decanting, but it was not a debut. I thought it was interesting that you already mentioned this. 47 down extorts from, in a way, the answer as written was males, and it turned out to be black males. But black males was a debut. I would have thought, since the crossword started in 1942, blackmails would have worked its way into the grid, but apparently not.
It's interesting on Xword that they consider the answer blackmails, because, black isn't in the puzzle. You just, it's in a black ring, so you always knew you had to put black in front of what you did put in those 5 squares.
Right.
I mean, really, all you put in the 5 squares was magic, MAGIC. So that was really the answer. But they put in X-word that the answer was blackmails.
That's an interesting question, how they decide what the answer should be when there's some sort of a gimmick. Like, it'd be interesting to go back to the crossword where they had the exclamation point for bang. I bet they wrote out the word bang if they're going to be consistent with what they're doing here.
Right.
Let's see. I liked 24 across. That was, the clue was just $3 signs, and the answer was dollar signs.
Yeah.
I like that literalness there.
Yes.
And let's see, 23 across, multi-piece furniture purchase. 22 across, multi-piece furniture purchases was ottoman sets.
Right.
And I discovered today, as I think I've discovered in the past and just simply forgot, that I do not know how to spell ottoman. Because I want to say, how do you pronounce it?
Ottoman.
Ottoman. Okay. Because that A,
It's really Ottoman.
it should be Ottoman. Yes.
Yeah.
And if people pronounce it like that, I would have no trouble with the spelling of it. But I had OTTOMONSETS. But that was a bit of a natick because 5 down, largest labor union in the U.S. in brief. So I had NEO. I thought, that sounds like a cool name for a labor union or somebody in the Matrix. But it turned out it was NEA.
NEA.
National
Education Association.
Okay.
My mother was the president of her NEA chapter when she
Wow.
was a teacher many years ago. Yes.
I'm honored.
Yep. And she took me once to an NEA convention
Really?
when I was 6 years old.
That seems a little young.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to ride the train to Chicago.
Right next to Kant's, we had 7 down, Alpha Blanc Majoris. Star in the Big Dipper was Ursae, URSAE, based off of Ursa Major, and I guess that's the Latin.
Right.
But that was a little tricky.
That was. Was that a debut?
Let's see. It was...
I don't ever remember seeing that.
No.
in the puzzle.
Ursae has appeared a total of 21 times.
Wow.
Yeah. So...
Very good.
I like 31. 31 down. Let's see. That was, if I can find it here. It was ailment whose name becomes an actress when its vowel is doubled.
Right.
And my problem was for 53 across, just scratches the surface. I had itches. And so I had strip for 31 down. I thought, there's some ailment called strip. And it's like, there's only one vowel. So I was trying to think of an actress with the name Strip. And of course, I immediately went to Stormy Daniels. I'm not sure if she's an actual actress per se. I mean, she is. So, anyways, but
that made you think of Stormy Daniels?
Yeah, the word strip.
Oh.
So, but it turned out that 53 across was not itches, it was etches,
Right.
just scratches the surface. That makes more sense.
Yes, it certainly does.
And that meant that it was strep, which sounds more like an ailment than strip. And then you got streep,
That's right.
as in Meryl. So,
Good old Meryl Streep.
yeah. That was a great clue.
Uh-huh.
And I had a lot of fun getting to it, as you can tell.
Well, yeah, I had no clue. I'm like, what is an illness that could be an actress if you add a vowel?
I don't know if you're familiar with that famous actress, Janet Kuvid.
Cuba. Or COVID.
or Sarah Flew. Let's see, 56 across, I thought was fine. No, that was 56 down, sorry. The clue was it's not long, and the answer was lat.
Right.
And if you look closely at the clue, it's not long. There's a period after the word long.
Yes.
Normally, they don't put periods in clues.
Right.
So it was an abbreviation. So
Yeah.
longitude and latitude.
Yeah, that was a cute clue, I thought.
Yes. And another that I presume was theme related, 71 across, balance beam gripper, toe.
Oh, yes. We've seen some toe Grips in the balance beam competition this year.
Yes.
Definitely. Amazing movements they make on that.
And, even when I was solving once I'd figured out the theme with the colors, I would occasionally forget that. And like 63 down, National Park since 1872, it was stone. And of course it was Yellowstone.
Right.
But I was getting a word that was starting to look like stone. I'm like, what sort of a national park is this? So
Stone Park.
Stone Park, yes. Of course, I was doing this late at night, so that's my excuse.
I liked 83 down, channel that gets audio only, ear canal.
Yes,
That was a funny one.
that was magnificent. Let's see, we had what's 72 down? Beat at an audition, maybe. So I misread that. Again, I was doing this late at night, and I read it as beat at an auction. And so I had outbid, and I couldn't get things to work. And then I took a closer look and said, it's like, beat at an audition, outact.
That's right.
That's an interesting word.
Yes.
And now I'm going to outact you.
Right.
I don't know. Sounds a little strange, but did you know 38 down being architect blank van der Rohe?
Yes.
Mies? Mies?
Mm-hmm.
I see. How do you know Mies van der Rohe?
I used to teach a class in historic architecture.
Oh,
so.
and didn't
Yes.
and Mies was in your notes?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Uh-huh. He kind of coined the phrase, less is more.
Ah. I coined a similar phrase, except mine was more is more. That's much more literal.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. 103 down was also, I thought, sort of amusing. Let's see. 103 down, wherever it is. It was, yes, Adam of TV Severance. Not amusing, but a great show. Listeners, if you're looking for some light diversion, check out Severance. It's from Apple TV Plus, and it's really a magnificent series. Really won lots of awards, and deservedly so. So
the answer was Scott.
Oh, right. Good.
Scott.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I was so enamored with the show, I forgot what I was talking about. All right. Well, I think that is it for today. So a fabulous crossword by Paola Pasco, edited as always by Joel Fagliano. So well done, Paolo. Congratulations, and I hope all of your Olympic picks win gold.
Very good.
I think this deserves a gold.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, a gold medal crossword right here. All right. Well, that is it for today. Thanks everyone for listening. Hope you're enjoying these podcasts. We will be back again with our cutting edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.